Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate y'all for being here. So, look, this is what we got going on today. We about to watch a video on Looksmaxxing. If you don't know what Looksmaxxing is, I took the liberty to look it up so you wouldn't have to, right? So, right here, you see I got it. Right here states it's an internet slang term for the practice of maximizing one's physical attractiveness through various means from skincare, fitness, and grooming, and more extreme measures like cosmetic procedures and whatever, right? Blah 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 blah. The goal is to look the best you can by any means necessary. That's what I gathered. So we about to watch a video on it on a couple of guys. I think it's one guy in particular, but check it out. All right, man. Let's hop right into it.
I'm sorry, but the Looksmaxing community is one of the most insecure and sad communities I've ever seen in my life.
My gosh, I'm not mad at it. Hey, it's just like with the ladies when they do the duck, well, when they used to do the duck lips or whatever the fuck. That and the tongue thing that they do. That's the two things that I could see. And the butt poses. Those are like the biggest things I could see that'd be close to like looks maxing. These guys kind of creep me out low key.
So what you just watched was a Looksmaxing or black pill edit of me because a few months ago I made a video about the cringe world of Looksmaxing, calling out how this Looksmaxing epidemic is pretty cringe and it's toxic because it's just making you hyper focus on these small things that you really shouldn't be worried about. No one's perfect, so why try to do all these things to be perfect? And me being right, these Looksmaxers decide to make an edit of me calling it cope and calling me a sub 5, saying that I'm ugly. And in that video, I also called them out for making these weird edits, flexing other dudes' looks, yet they
It's all good. Like I'm not gonna say looks aren't everything because some people do choose that. Teenagers for sure. Teenagers and I'll probably say well into your early 20s. A lot of people value looks over everything, and then they get upset when they get into a relationship and it's not what they thought it was gonna be. Reason because everything's superficial. I've had people around me recently that has been going through this, and it is the most hilarious thing whenever they try to justify themselves, but they never get to know this individual on a deeper level.
wouldn't even show their face on their account. And when I did that, they would claim that I was proving the black pill right. When in that video, I never said that looks don't matter. I just said that looks aren't everything. And of course, if you're gonna sit there making videos of other people's looks, I would expect you to have your face on your account, especially when you're making fun of people's looks who have birth defects. Like they made a whole edit on this one dude, basically calling him ugly and saying that it's over for him because he has a cleft lip. It's disgusting. Look, I may
Like
not
the
be the most
UFC
attractive
fighter,
guy
huh?
in the world, but I have
They look like the, hold on, my bad. They look like the UFC fighter, if I'm not mistaken.
made a whole edit on this one dude, basically calling him ugly and saying that it's over for him because he has a cleft lip. It's disgusting. Look, I may not be the most attractive guy in the world, but I have many other qualities.
Hey, hit me up down below in the comments if y'all think there's Raul Rosas or if y'all know there's Raul Rosas from an MMA, man.
That
Good
people
fighter,
will like.
by the way.
And I promise you, this dude who has a cleft lip as well has many qualities that other people would like. Call it cope, but in my honest opinion, I call it being grateful and being optimistic, which is what a lot of these looks maxers and black pillars lack. I'm grateful that I don't wake up every single day hating the way I look to the point where I'm smashing my skull in with a hammer. But honestly, if you're a looks maxer and you hate my opinion on this stuff, make way more.
That's a little extreme. I swear that's a little extreme. But yeah, man, love the skin you in. If you don't get nothing else from this video, even if we ain't even all the way in, if you ain't getting nothing else from this video, love the skin you're in, and whatever you can do naturally, do it.
it to me, calling me chopped, all this stuff. The more you guys make, the more I'll make videos on this stuff. I'll make a whole video reacting to your guys' Looksmaxxing edits of me. Please make them. That would be hilarious. But yeah, in today's video, we're going to talk about Looksmaxxing once again. And later in this video, we'll actually take a look at the comments on my last video, because a lot of people disagreed with me. Also, another thing, I can't lie, in that video, I did get a few things wrong. Like, I didn't know some of the terms for the certain facial bones, and also just some of the Looksmaxxing terms and scales of Looksmaxxing slash black pill. But my overall point was that this Looksmaxxing stuff is cringe. And once again, don't get me wrong, looks do matter, but don't make it your top priority to the point where you're hitting yourself in the face with a hammer at 15 years old.
This is how to bone smash. I have my Sharpie here. See this area?
Bro, ain't no way they. What? Ain't no way these people doing this and think it's okay. Like, oh my god.
Right here. Your cheekbones, your zygos right here. I'm just gonna be marking where I'm going to be doing it. In these two areas. I'm just going to start hammering at this. I'm just going to be doing a shorter version. Normally I do it 5 minutes on each side. So 10 minutes in total. I'm just going to do a short hammer. Yeah, you gotta brace your head.
This is a young guy hitting his face with the hammer to look better. I don't care what your stance is, but you can't tell me that this is good. As a society, this shouldn't be something that's celebrated, in my opinion. While there is some science to it, they do this because of Wolff's Law, which is the principle that bones adapt their structure in the response of the mechanical stress placed on them. Some Muay Thai fighters actually do this to condition their shins. They'll kick hard metal poles to create microfractures so that when they repair, their shins just become even stronger. But again, I don't think this is good, especially to young men. Number one, you can get extremely hurt from doing this. Number two, you'll never be satisfied after it. You'll search for the next thing you can change. And number three, it's going to frame your entire worth around your appearance. And the day that you don't look good to the Looksmaxxing standard, you're going to feel terrible about yourself.
Yeah, that's just like women in cosmetic surgery. There's a lot of women, they usually start with like Botox, and then they go lip filler, right? Nothing against it, but I'm just trying to explain it to get y'all to understand. And then some go under the knife, right? There's some people do like their cheekbones. Sometimes they'll do the lift under here, or the tighten under here, the neck, or whatever the hell they do, push it to the back or whatever. Get, breast implants, BBL, like it's kind of the same thing, but not to that extreme magnitude, if I'm not mistaken.
Like, hyper focusing on your looks is just going to drive you insane to the point where you're on these forums trying to see how to get rid of the left chin hair on your face because it stands out too much. That's what these Looksmaxxers are on. These dudes could do every single tactic and get every single surgery in the world to look attractive, and they still wouldn't be satisfied. And that's the sad part about this. A lot of young men are going down this pipeline, and it's toxic. Like the guy who was bone smashing in that recent video. That guy is young. He doesn't have his age or anything in his bio, but he looks about maybe 16, 17 years old. He's not even finished with puberty yet, and he's trying to change his facial structure. That is bad. And speaking of changing your facial structure, one thing that's popular with the Looksmaxxing community is this thing called a double jaw surgery, which is a procedure done by doctors that positions both the upper and lower jaws at the same time to correct severe misalignments and improve facial aesthetics. And this is something that's really only needed when you have a severe jaw misalignment, like a severe overbite or severe.
So I would recommend, for my men out there, I would recommend something like this if you absolutely need it. Because if something happens, you can't really reverse it. You know what I mean? And if you can't reverse it, you won't be how you were before. So it's just like a lot of risks for that reward. A lot of risk for that reward. See, I can't even talk right now. But yeah, that's crazy. Like I said, if you ain't got no chin, not talking down nobody, but if you ain't got no chin, right, and they do give you the opportunity to do it, do it. Like, in extreme cases, I would always say go for it if you need
your
it.
underbite, but these Looksmaxxers glorify this surgery because the befores and afters are extremely dramatic and it changes your bone structure and your side profile. And from doing this as a Looksmaxxer, you can go from low on the scale to pretty high on the scale. A double jaw surgery slash Bimax would genuinely change my life. And the crazy part is, this isn't even a bad looking dude. I promise you he's probably pulling a bunch of girls, right? But he's so hyper focused on getting this double jaw surgery because he went down the Looksmaxxing pipeline when in reality he doesn't need this double jaw surgery. I mean, look at the dude. He thinks that this double jaw surgery is gonna make him look perfect when in reality, if he were to get this, he'd look for the next thing to get and the next thing to get, and he'll never be satisfied after that. And he's also acting like this thing can't go wrong. I mean, there's plenty of botched surgeries out there. I don't know, y'all may—
That's what I was talking about. Like, it sometimes it can go wrong. There were a lot of people, I know it's kind of different, but as far as the BBL community, people that do BBLs, like say, I don't care, do whatever to your body. But a lot of women do pass away. It's not really like recorded or anything, but a lot of women do fall victim to this and pass away, unfortunately. But that's just the risk you have to take.
I disagree with this, but I'm just not a fan of these surgeries unless they're really needed. Getting these surgeries in the hopes of going up on the Looksmaxxing scale is just pretty stupid. This dude doesn't need surgery. He just needs character. He needs self-confidence. And I can see he already has confidence, you know? But just be confident enough in yourself that you don't need that double jaw surgery to pull even more girls. Maybe become funnier. Maybe build more character. Building that character starts after you realize that no one in this world is perfect, so why try to strive for perfection? In my opinion, you don't need all these extreme procedures done yourself. Groom yourself properly, have good hygiene, hit the gym, eat well, build good character, and that's really all you need. You don't need these extreme surgeries or dangerous tactics to pull women, bruh. And the whole reason I really wanted to revisit this Looksmaxxing topic is because it's gotten even more popular since my last video. People are considering it mainstream now because recently there's been an influencer popping off by the name of Clavicular, who's a 19-year-old who's apparently the Looksmaxxing god to these—
Hey, I want a lot, little dude. I said little dude. Let's see.
By the name of Clavicular.
Boy, look like what Clark Kent looks like in what is that, in the comic books, man? Like, he do look like a DC hero. And from what I heard through the spaces, this guy's only like 18, 19. Yeah.
Who's a 19-year-old who's apparently the Looksmaxxing god to these losers, and he's super dedicated to Looksmaxxing to the point where it's taken over his whole life. Like, this guy is a teenager still, but his whole world is Looksmaxxing. All he cares about is mogging, which, if you're unfamiliar with the term, it basically means to outshine whoever's next to you. Let's say me and you take a picture and I look better than you. That means that I mogged you, and that's this dude's goal in life: to look better than other people and to get compliments from other people from looking better.
I mean, the goal is to mog, okay? I just want to mog. I don't give a about getting girls. I don't give a about that shit.
I just want to
I want to
mog
mog people, right? I want to walk into a room and people are like, holy shit, look at this guy.
Like, this is just sad. Maybe it's because when he was like super young, he just wasn't seen enough, so he feels that if he does all this stuff, he's gonna be more seen. It's just sad, and you can see that this dude is insecure. And what makes me think this is a lack of attention even more is because, I mean, there was this clip I saw of him while doing the research of this, where he was bone smashing in front of his parents, and they were telling this man to go away.
Institutions sit down in the morning with their portfolio managers and their analysts and say, oh, they will make six.
I'm not gonna lie, his parents are correct right there, bruh. I'd disown my son if he was bone smashing. This guy is the insecure final boss. He's so insecure that he can't even pick up a slice of pizza.
Hold on. What happened to the volume?
Correct right there, bruh. I'd disown my son if he was bone smashing. This guy is the insecure final boss. He's so insecure that he can't even pick up a slice of pizza.
Oh, okay. Bruh, look at this man. Now you mad? Now you mad because
Dude isn't even a bad looking
pick up a
dude. No matter
pizza.
how much Looksmaxxing this guy does, he could be the best looking person in the entire world. Yet you can tell he's still insecure. And that is sad. He'll never be secure with himself. And I can't lie, Clav definitely, like, you can see he's improved his looks
That's
from
a
when he
glow up,
started to
dog.
now.
Like,
But
that's a
you
glow
could
up.
also attribute that to puberty, because I mean, the dude, I think he started when he was like maybe 16, 17 years old, somewhere around there. And now he's 19. And since Clav just wants to mog everyone to reach this goal of being at his best, he's doing everything possible, like wearing makeup, getting surgeries, taking steroids, and even doing math. But switch that A with an E.
Wait, is it true you do math? Somebody told me you do math.
I was sitting there, at first I was waiting. I was like, I'm trying to wait on the joke, but they said, yeah. Like, why would you do that? Like, does he know how addictive that stuff is? I was about to say shit, but know how addictive that stuff is? Bro, I can't even
I
talk.
do math,
God damn
yes.
it.
So I do math to, basically suppress my appetite and try to get leaner. It's really not as bad as people think.
How do you take it?
Okay.
Intranasally,
I'm sorry, what is that?
like up your nose.
This dude is snorting.
Do I gotta run that back for y'all? That man is snorting meth because he states that it suppresses your appetite. Well, I feel him, but there's other ways to go about doing it. Natural ways, to be exact.
Math to suppress his appetite. This is disgusting, man. There's something in me that wants to say that this dude is trolling, but I highly doubt that, considering that he also used to hit himself in the face with hard objects. I'm not surprised why he thinks this is just something that's okay to do.
I think men should wear makeup because it's the best way to conceal different flaws in your face without actually addressing the underlying issues. A lot of men are super against using makeup, and I don't know why. It's just about not getting caught. If you could use makeup and no one knows, then there's no reason why you shouldn't.
What kinds of makeup do you wear?
Using a microbrow pencil to fill in any gaps and growth, great way to make them look a little bit more full, a bit more striking. Anyone could have perfect eyebrows.
This is my biggest issue with this. It's all about hiding your flaws instead of embracing them. Like, nobody
That's the thing. He's afraid to embrace his flaws, but at the same time, that's how you know he's still young. He still hasn't matured the way he needs to mature. Yes, it's okay to be insecure. Yes, it is. At the same time, a lot of people are worried about what society deems as perfect, or society deems as beautiful, or handsome, whichever way you want to prefer. But at the same token, a lot of people has to go through hell and hot water just to get there. You got some that are already blessed coming out the womb, and they grow throughout time, and they have the good physique, they work out, they do whatever, and they do just look good, period. Versus some that they have to have a little bit extra, and they have to do a little bit more. As far as with the makeup though, come on, man. Like, I'm not against men wearing makeup, but I was raised by old heads. I was raised by men, hyper masculine men to be exact. And to me, I feel that I don't care, bro. Like, my eyebrows, I do have like a slight unibrow. Cool, what the fuck ever. And if I do shave, it's probably like once every 2 years, because I'll be like, whatever, it's time. But I don't hyper fixate on it. As far what else? Look at it, bro. My forehead, I got a big ass forehead, bro. But I embrace it, dog. Like, that's just how it goes.
is perfect, and they're striving so hard to become perfect when being perfect just isn't real. It's just not real. To embrace the fact that you have flaws is to be secure with yourself. And none of these dudes care about being secure with themselves. All they care about are the compliments from others, because they don't feel like they're enough in this world. And that's why they're never satisfied with how they look. I think more people just gotta accept the fact that, hey, people have flaws, man. No one's perfect. I accepted the fact that I have a big forehead. I mean, I could go out and get surgery, maybe get a hairline surgery or whatever to make it look better, but I'm happy with how I look. Obviously, there's Raccoon Cuff'em allows acting all edgy, trying to be horseman of Cancer Street.
Man,
I just feel like he's using it for the wrong reasons, man. Now, Clav, since he's also popping off, he's your final boss. This dude is extremely insecure, and I just feel bad, bro. Sure, being tall is a plus, but I highly doubt that, considering that he also used to hit himself in the face with hard objects. I'm not surprised why he thinks this is just something that's okay to do.
I think men should wear makeup because it's the best way to conceal different
I know
It's
y'all
not
gonna say
real.
that.
To embrace the fact that you have flaws is to be secure with yourself.
There we
And
go.
none of these dudes care about being secure with themselves. All they care about are the compliments from others because they don't feel like they're enough in this world. And that's why they're never satisfied with how they look. I think more people just gotta accept the fact that, hey, people have flaws, man. No one's perfect. I accepted the fact that I have a big forehead. I mean, I could go out and get surgery, you know, maybe get a hairline surgery or whatever to make it look better, but
That Turkish hair line Turkish hair plant. Fuck. Turkish hair transplant. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, hey man, look, join the squad, bro. Hey, big forehead gang, where we at, man?
I'm happy with how I look. Obviously, there's room for improvement,
BFG,
but
bro.
I'm not gonna go out of my way to get some sort of surgery to make my forehead smaller. This forehead is a staple, dog. This isn't going anywhere.
Are you spending $100,000 on surgery to go from 6'2" to 6'6"?
That is more about presence. You walk into a room, people notice, right? Because people will come up to me, they'll say, "Oh, well, 6'2", you know, that's already very tall." But in terms of percentiles, it's only 91st percentile, right? 6'6", we get to 99th. I'm someone who wants to be the best, right? And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there. The unfortunate part about limb lengthening surgery is almost no one is going to be able to do it because you're going to have to be out of work for 6 months to a year. You're going to be hospitalized for the first 3 weeks. You're pretty much immobile for the first 3 months. The next 3 months after that, you know, you're really not going to be able to walk without crutches and stuff like that.
So how does this sound appealing? I'm gonna see if I can find that video on the other guy that did it. I know there's a black guy that did it. But I'm gonna have to see if I can find that video for you guys and we'll react to it. But look. How does that sound appealing? You're out of work for so long. You're bedridden for so long. You're in pain for so long. That is just to be 6'6", just to grow 4 inches. It ain't worth it. God.
So getting away from work for that long is just not possible by most people, and not to mention the outrageous prices. So it's a very treacherous process. It's very painful. You know, you have to be
100,000.
under close supervision with doctors, and you really have to gauge the value. Is this something that's worth it to you? Because
Right.
it's a horrible process, and there's no beating around the bush on that.
Doing all this just for people to be like, hey, that guy's tall. Insecure final boss. This dude is extremely insecure, and I just feel bad, bro. Sure, being tall is a plus, but I don't think being tall is everything. There's no point in getting height lengthening surgery, because I promise you, the moment you have kids, and let's say you're a short man, look, I'm 5'7". Imagine if I got height lengthening surgery, I went to like 6'2", and my kids grow up to be like 5'3" or 4. I'd be like, dang, man, that's rough. They're gonna be like, Dad, why am I not as tall as you? Man, you gotta get your bread up and get that height lengthening surgery. Sure, most women care about height, but I don't think it's to the extent that people make it to be online. Some people think that if you're not tall, then you're cooked, when in reality, that's just not true. Maturing is realizing if you're shorter than 6 feet, it's over for you. I feel like that's not maturing. I think that's more of you dematuring if you're thinking that being under 6 feet means that you're cooked. If anything, I think your brain is cooked for thinking that you have
Comment below if you feel that 6 foot is the standard or whatever they're saying. To be honest, a lot of women they fetishize height in a male. They love that a male's over 6 foot. In all actuality, they can look at a male that's, let's just say, 5'9" or 5'10", and they couldn't tell the difference. Just keep that in mind whenever you're looking for a mate in this world. Because if they can pull out a tape measure and be like, oh yeah, that's 6 foot, and they can do it mentally, then that's the one you got to watch out for, because they know they've been doing this for a long time. But a lot of these women are normally 5'2", 5 foot to 5'6", so that kind of puts a damper, because they're looking for these tall men. But what about the tall women looking for tall men? I never thought about that, because tall women, how can they feel petite or feel tiny if they're 6'4"? How hard is it for them to find a man that's let's just say 6'7", so they can wear heels? You know, think about that. when y'all in this dating pool.
To be over 6 feet or you're cooked in society. There's many great people in the world who are short, man. Being tall, yeah, it's a plus, but it's not everything, brother. Back to Clav though. Since he was popping off and losers attract losers, he decided to go on the Fresh and Fit podcast and he decided to rate women because that's something that a lot of these Looksmaxxers love to do. They like rating people.
I'm going to give you a 4 out of 10. I'm definitely.
Wait, do you want him to say like why he gave the rating and how they can improve? Can you give him say why so she got 3.5? Why and how can she improve?
Well, her mid face is way too long. Obviously, she's got the jowls coming in, horrible nasolabial folds, horrible total facial width to height ratio, just really bad age indicators. But obviously at 30, that's not something really that's going to surprise me. Her upper maxilla is super recessed, horrible infraorbitals.
Okay, and the problem about this is you got these two gentlemen, Fresh and Fit. I've been seeing them across the web, all over the place, and I have no beef with nobody. You know what I mean? I don't care about how you run your shows or your whatever videos, but roasting people for looks, roasting people for their jobs, just roasting people period is not, I won't say it's not a godly thing because none of these people could reach that type of status, but it's just tough to see people doing that in society where the society is already dealing with a lot of cyberbullying, a lot of bullying period. I got some my bad. A lot of bullying period, and you bring it to their face. This is why people offing themselves unaliving themselves happens so frequently because of shit like this. I get mad from time to time, but it's not my place to get mad. But I do get mad because I see this and knowing that my kid is growing up in this world, and yeah, bro, it's just fucking sad.
That's why your under eyes are coming in like hell. Really recessed chin. All the facial convexities are wrong. Her radix is recessed. Moving on. Okay, well, how much time do we have on the podcast?
This dude, I'm not gonna lie, this dude Clav would be an amazing doctor. And I say that because this dude has a lot of knowledge when it comes to this stuff. I'm not going to discredit him at all. He knows all the facial bones. He knows all this stuff, right? But I feel like he's just using this stuff for the wrong reasons. I hate to say it, but this Looksmaxxing stuff is just going to be the new red pill. Like, y'all remember how back in 2021, 2020, and like 2022, 2023, there were all those red pill alpha males that were coming up saying all this stuff about women? The new red pill is just this Looksmaxxing stuff. And it's going to get even more annoying by the year. And it's also going to get extremely dangerous. That red pill stuff got dangerous, but I feel like this Looksmaxxing stuff is going to get even more dangerous. There's going to be little kids hitting their face with hammers because they're not attractive enough when they're like 8 years old. They shouldn't be worried about this. Another person Clav decided to rate is the streamer Marlon, which I'm pretty sure we all know who Marlon is, but if you don't, he's this streamer who is also a model, and no homo, but he's a pretty good looking dude, and this is what Clav had to say about him because he's a Looksmaxxer and he follows this Looksmaxxing scale to the T.
What would you rate Marlon on a scale from 1 to 10?
I would rate Marlon between a 7.5 and an 8 out of 10.
Damn,
so I'd put him right around Chad. Extremely good looking, very mager, so I'd rate him Chad.
What's his main negative?
His main negative is his mandibular growth, right? So he's got a bit of a recessed mandible. You look at some of the clips of him in motion from the side profile.
Boy, it's crazy how obsessed a person is for him to know this. I don't know if he went to college for it. I don't know if he went to school for it, but I feel like from what I'm seeing with him being 19, I feel like he's just been on an internet search and searching and researching all these things in order to get the knowledge he needs. And it's crazy on how tough he can be, not even on others but himself.
His chin is slightly recessed. Obviously we're being hypercritical just for the objective rating. I think he's better looking than me before anyone goes crazy. But it's just like if we're being hyper analytical, that like these small things take him down a little bit in terms of his points.
He's pointing out all these things that really just don't matter, bruh. Just look at Marlon, bro. He's a good looking dude. Pause on that. No homo.
Right.
So why even hyper analyze this stuff? But yeah, like I said, this dude Clav, he could become a doctor. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to this stuff. I just feel like he's using it.
He should
for
be
the wrong
a
reasons, man.
beauty.
Now Clav, since he's also popping off, he's been streaming a lot
Mutant,
with people like
whatever.
Aiden Ross,
You know what I'm
Cufflin,
talking
and
about.
Neon, the three horsemen of cancer streaming. Neon's been a bit better now, but Aiden and Cufflin are pretty bad. And now Clav, he's here and he's the fourth cancer. He's been streaming a lot and acting all edgy, trying to be cool by saying things like the N-word live because, hey, nobody can cancel me. I'm a Chad. When it's just corny. Because I know he wouldn't say this to any other black person to their face. He only says it because the King Rigby, the raccoon, Cufflin, allows him to.
It gets like overwhelming.
You know what's crazy? People like this don't respect a lot of things. Obviously, you can tell he don't respect himself or respect others. So, why would he respect the culture? Why would he respect the word? Because he probably don't know nothing about it. If he did, he'd probably change his tone a little bit. But a lot of it's just for to get the clicks, a lot of the views, right? You know, a guy like this saying the N-word, it's rage bait.
You think like hella girls would approach me like as like they want to fuck with me? Like you saw me in person. And bro, we're close now. You can be honest. Be real.
Fuck no.
And in one of Clav's streams, he was actually giving his girlfriend, who's 17, these
I would've
fat
gave him a lecture. I
dissolving
wouldn't
face
have done nothing
shots.
crazy.
I hear you got the plug for those fresh Stacy's. Hit me up, nigga.
Dude, I can already see the clips. Clav injects meth on a...
Chat, we're Looksmaxing her. We're Looksmaxing her. It's all good.
I know people are gonna fry me for this, which I don't know why. This is an ice cold take. This shouldn't be a hot take in today's day and age. I think everyone should agree with this, but I don't think a 17-year-old should be taking these fat dissolving injections to the face out of a random syringe. Hot take. You know, I may get canceled for that, but I don't think that should be happening. People are gonna be calling me crazy for saying that, but this is just weird. And I think the weirdest part is that this guy's audience is so young, so they're gonna take this into account and they're gonna think that this is something that's okay. They're doing this just like it's something normal when this is dangerous and you shouldn't be doing this. Watching Looksmaxers convince little kids they're ugly. They haven't even gone through puberty yet and they're being told it's over for them. Looksmaxing is literally a ploy for companies to make money by destroying men's mental health. I highly agree with that. Like I said, looks do matter, but there's other things you can focus on.
Man, look. So let's say it like this: every few years, every year, not even just every year, there is a new thing for some. I'm gonna say a trend. There's a new trend that gets everybody on it. Whatever the agenda is, I don't know, but it's always a trend to help further either make the next generation, I'm gonna say dumber or more stupid or more ignorant, and more violent. And yeah, like I had another one, but I lost my train of thought. More anxiety. So a lot of things that go on in social media is enough to make a ploy or make an agenda to mess up the next generation that's below some the ones that are on TikTok. And when it destroys the generation, who's going to be next? So that's why it's up to some of the older generations that are still around to I was about to say Gen Z. Millennials. Millennials and maybe Generation Y or X. I forgot who's above me, but I'm in a millennial, right? I'm in a millennial. So a lot of us have a lot of us have morals that we wouldn't fall victim to this, but at the same time some millennials do. There's just some people are easily influenced. It just depends on where they come from, their mentality level, and their psyche. But my goal is to make sure that my son understands that whatever they're pushing on this internet, whatever your friends have got going on, whatever, if you do not agree with it, do not do it. If you don't agree with it, you feel like that you have to go against your moral compass. If you feel that you would disrespect your legacy and your last name, don't do the shit. So that's what I would try to instill in him.
Other than just looks. These
Side
companies
note,
are trying to sell you
sidebar.
a solution to a problem that just doesn't exist. The reason this stuff is so pushed is because they want you to be insecure about a small thing so you could buy the cure, when that small thing really doesn't matter at all. When the real cure, if we're being honest, is just self-love. And this Looksmaxxing stuff is also destroying women, because you got women out here taking X-Acto knives, trying to make little cuts within their eyes to get up on that scale. This stuff is just disgusting. But like I said, my last Looksmaxxing video got a lot of comments, so why not respond to some of those within this video? Of course, it's a sub 5. So if I was attractive, would you take what I'm saying into account, or would you just say that of course it's an attractive person saying this? I wonder.
Hey, it's a double-edged sword, my boy.
I can smell the edits coming for you. Please make more edits of me. I'd laugh at every single one of them. I'm gonna laugh because there's gonna be many Looksmaxxers out there that pay for all these surgeries and they're not gonna be satisfied. I'm gonna be over here looking just normal and be satisfied with how I look. Please make more edits of me, because I promise 10 years from now, we're gonna bring this clip up and we're gonna talk about this exact same thing. And y'all are gonna see that I'm happy, but these Looksmaxxers aren't. Of course, it's a sub 5 incel that's making a video about Looksmaxxing. Definitely just a sub 5 incel, man. This video is just normie cope. They'll see the less sane side of Looksmaxxing and write off.
But what's crazy is look at none of them have a profile photo. Like none of them have a profile picture. Like, come on, son. Like that's crazy, and it's crazy that it's the same person going back to back. Like somebody's triggered, and I'm pretty sure that they're trying to be a Looksmaxxer, and it ain't happening for them, for sure.
The entire movement. Actually, when I think about it, it's a good thing normies don't wake up to it, because that means less people improving themselves, thus less competition. Once again, in that video, I mean, I said that there's nothing wrong with trying to maximize the way you look, but I think it becomes a huge problem when you're doing all these crazy surgeries and extreme things to achieve that look. I just don't think that's good. Call it normie cope, but hey man, I just think it's pretty stupid. You ugly, with a capital ugly. What do you mean I'm ugly? I'm like the second coming of Marlon, dog. I get it, but calling Looksmaxxers cringe is like bullying a kid because he can't make friends. Bro, what are you talking about? I don't think that's anywhere near what that is. And yeah, this stuff is cringe. It is very cringe. If you don't see that it's cringe, then you're a part of the problem. Yeah. You look terrible, dude. Well, I mean, I look terrible to your scale, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that maybe might think I'm attractive. So why does the way that you think that I look matter if there's...
Man, look, beauty is subjective. That's one thing I was taught, one thing I've learned over the years. Because at the same time, your taste will change. At the same time, shit, the person that you think you would, let's say, marry will probably not even be the person you think you would marry as far as looks wise and let's just say mentality wise. Like I promise you, and at the same time you might get shitted on by the person you wanna date, as far as you want a 10. You want a 10, but it's 10 look at you as a cash cow. You know what I mean? So just beware. Before y'all even hop in my comments talking about it, look, I know I'm not even talking about me being a 10. I'm just glad that I'm already married and I ain't got to deal with none of this dumb shit that's out there on the internet. But at the same time, I'm average at best.
Other people out there that maybe think that I'm attractive. Who cares? Look at your chin, hair, eyebrows, brother. Oh man, you may mog me when it comes to my chin, my hair, and my eyebrows and everything, man. But at the end of the day, those are things that I can't really control. One thing I can control though is the amount of money that goes into my bank account each month, which you probably can as well. and let's just say, I mog you, brother. I don't mean to be that guy, but I definitely mog you, brother, when it comes to that. I also mog you when it comes to just self-love, man. I mog your self-love, dude. Sub 5 got triggered. See, look, I may have gotten triggered a little bit, but would you say that you got triggered as well for commenting that? It's over for bro. Heartbreak emoji. I mean, if it's over for me because I love myself, then what does that mean for you? Is it over for you if you can't afford these certain surgeries that you want to get to look better? And if you get those surgeries, then you'll still be unhappy? Is it really over for me, or is it just more over for you? Like, let me know. This video proves exactly Black Pill's point, and also how our society has felt past years, and how much our IQs have felt. If you see a Black Pill edit with sad music, saw disabled people, and you think they are making fun of them, this shows how stupid you are. Of course, most of these methods of Looksmaxxing are copes, but also this is how dumb most of you are. Nad, in the same time you asked for a face reveal. Never mind, Grays. I had a complete stroke trying to read that. That isn't me proving Black Pill right. That's just me saying that if you're gonna make fun of somebody else's looks, why not show your face? And these Black Pillers were making fun of people with birth defects. Right. If you think that's something that's okay, then you're just an idiot. You're a disgusting human being. And I like how this guy is trying to talk about IQs when this guy's IQ is so low that he can't even understand my point. I think this video is wrong and just points on the worst parts of Looksmaxxing, but being honest, this generation needs it. This generation does not need this extreme Looksmaxxing. All they need to know is to have good hygiene, groom yourself properly, be a good person, build good character, have a routine, and boom, you're good. You don't need all this other.
This man Cameron over here putting on their ass. I mean, putting it on their ass, boy. Hey, that's what you talk about when you got confidence. This is confidence. Confidence rules everything. Confidence trumps everything. Who gives a fuck? Because even if you look, now I'm over here cursing at people. But look, let's just say it like this, right? I don't care if you can talk to how many women or men you decide to talk to. There's going to be a lot that's going to tell you no. I don't care. You don't. There's nobody with 100% shot percentage. I'm gonna say that for my athletes, or 100% completion rate, or 100% success rate when it comes down to pulling females or pulling males. It's not 100%, because there's always somebody that don't like you, not because of who you are. It's probably because of your mentality. It's probably because of how you approach them. It could be that they're not interested in you. Maybe because you don't have a certain thing that they like. Maybe because you're short. Maybe because you're too tall. Maybe because you look like a player, and that happens. So, Cameron, appreciate you. Keep up the good work.
Stuff. Of course, a Yakub looking sub 5 calls Looksmaxxing cringe. When your fourth wife divorces you for Chad, maybe then you will swallow the BP. That is so cringe. Oh my gosh, that was the cringiest comment I have ever seen. This guy is definitely 3 years old. He's definitely 3. I'm gonna cut him some slack though, because maybe his frontal lobe hasn't fully developed. By judging them for not showing their faces in their vids, demeaning them as ugly for not doing so, and bundling them as cringe for that and joking about it, you're basically proving their point that looks are everything. You're literally reducing them to their appearance and judging based on that. That's literally their point that people do that like you do. You're literally proving their own point right there. Once again, I'm not proving their point. I'm just saying that if you're going to make fun of other people's looks, you should at least show what you look like first. Holy jaw asymmetry. Average sub 5 triggered.
They
over
crazy
for you sub 5.
Hey, they crazy because that's the only thing they got is sub 5. That shit dumb as fuck. I hear that's dumb as fuck. I have these people hide behind keyboards, hide behind shit, they don't even got a damn thumbnail. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. I like thumbnail, fucking profile picture.
5 Lamau, bro. Lamau. That's like the only response that these Looksmaxxers have.
Right.
They'll just be like, "Oh, you're
That's
a sub 5,"
crazy.
and that's it. Then they just go into their room and cry because they weren't born a certain way. Notice how the only people who criticize Looksmax and all are chopped as F. Ha ha ha. It's so insane how they're right about society in general. Next time, if you feel insecure, fam, don't make a video about kids. Kids like literally teens. It's crazy when you're a grown ass man. Holy shit. I think the thing is, I'm making videos about this so people don't fall down that pipeline and become extremely insecure. It's crazy that you don't see that you're insecure, yet you're calling me insecure for making a video about it. I think you
but at the same time, they shouldn't post on the internet. They're afraid to. They don't like the criticism, because criticism comes at all angles, no matter where the fuck you are. Like teens want to be adults so goddamn bad, but whenever somebody does this or somebody comes at them, they want to crawl back into that teenage mentality of being a teen. Oh, I'm just a kid. I know this because I used to work at a juvie, and a lot of kids like to be adults until that adult time comes when they have to get some time behind bars to be charged as an adult. Then their whole mentality goes back to being a teenager. No, bro, that ain't how the game goes. You want to be a teenager and you want to be an adult until it benefits you to be a teenager. Thank you.
You guys are more insecure than anyone on this entire planet because you guys are getting all these surgeries and still being unhappy after you get these surgeries. So who's really insecure? It's like if they were sitting here judging how much money other people were making each month, yet they weren't talking about how much they made each month. Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to ask that question, how much do you make each month, to feel like you can judge other people on how much they make each month. And if you can't understand that, then once again, you are just an idiot. Of course you look like that, Lamau. Yeah, of course I do look like that. I look like a great guy. Your forehead is the world. That is actually a funny comment. I can't lie. That's actually really funny. In conclusion, love yourself and accept your...
But the crazy part about it, man, is the fact that they're trying to roast people, but what they don't understand is a lot of these people that are doing this Looksmaxxing have never been roasted before. They never been in a scenario. From where I come from, my family, we will roast you for just off of GP. Like we'll roast you because we haven't seen you in a month. We will roast you for anything. So if you think any of those sub 5 or whatever those comments would do for certain individuals, that's how you know a lot of these individuals don't have that thick skin or don't have that type of they don't have that fortitude behind them. Because man, look, my family, well, not my family here, but you know, my family from back home, we'll roast each other off the just for anything. Head, hair, feet, shoes, clothes, whatever. So when you go into the real world, somebody say something like that, you'd be like, okay, that's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like words don't hurt.
Imperfections. Look, no one is perfect in this world, so never try to strive for perfection. The moment you get over that hill where you can accept your imperfections is the moment you really start living. Once again, I think looks matter, but there's other things you can focus on other than just looks. These companies are literally just trying to sell you a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. They want you to be insecure about a small thing so you could buy that cure, when the real cure is self-love. But yeah, all that being said, this is gonna wrap up the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Twitch CamWak, Twitter CamWak, Instagram CamWak, Discord link in the description. If you guys enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend you guys check out my most recent video. It'll be...
Hey man, I appreciate that, man. Cameron, keep it up. Keep it up, keep it up. Because as long as you got that confidence, bro, they can't take that from you. With that being said, I'm out.